Good morning, Pastor Ed here from Hope Lutheran Church in Freehold, New Jersey, with daily devotions for Friday, February the 19th. Um, if you normally tune in to my daily devotions, you'll notice that the background is a little bit different. That's because I am in my office at home and not in my office at church. And that's because I record these always the day before they are uploaded to our YouTube channel for you to watch. And so I'm recording on Thursday. And what happened on Thursday? Well, we got hit with another major snowstorm. I kept reading things like 3 to 5 inches, 4 to 6 inches. I don't know what it's like where you were at, um, but we had easily 12 inches here at the parsonage, kind of on the east end of town. And the folks who plow the church parking lot promised Cheryl that they'd come and plow me out. I was hoping that they would do that so I could at least run over to church and continue my Lenten devotions, but alas, that was not to be. I'm sure they had a lot of other jobs to do and bigger jobs than the parsonage driveway. So here I sit, still unable to get out. Hopefully they'll come first thing in the morning, and I'll be able to get out and get back to work. But in the meantime, I can't do my Lenten devotions because all of the materials for that are still over at church. Um, I should have brought things home with me last night, and it's one of those things that usually it seems as though uh, when the weather when they report bad weather, they always, in my opinion, my experience, I should say, um, they always over exaggerate how bad it's going to be, and oh, it's going to be terrible, and so everybody runs out. What do? They buy all the bread, eggs, and milk from the store, and then you don't get anything. Well, here lately they've not only been on target, they've been underestimating. um, the other week when they were saying, oh, 8 to 12 inches, we easily had 20 inches here at the parsonage. And again, they're saying 3 to 5, 4 to 6. Well, we easily had a foot of snow here at the parsonage. So I came home last night not thinking that I was going to get snowed in, and lo and behold, I did. So, or I was. But do want to share some thoughts and kind of relate it to the experience of this snowstorm and going out in the snow. And what I want to use for our devotion this morning is Psalm 51, which is the traditional psalm used on Ash Wednesday. In fact, those of you who came over to church to receive ashes on Ash Wednesday, uh, which was yesterday for me, be 2 days ago for you as you're watching this, we read responsively from Psalm 51. So I'd like to start by reading that, and I'm actually using the contemporary English version of the Bible that some of our kids in Sunday school use, and that Jeanette is using in teaching her Sunday school class. So this is Psalm 51, verses 1 through 12, and it's titled A Prayer for Forgiveness. You are kind, God. Please have pity on me. You are always merciful. Please wipe away my sins. Wash me clean from all of my sins and guilt. I know about my sins, and I cannot forget my terrible guilt. You are really the one I have sinned against. I've disobeyed you and have done wrong. So it is right and fair for you to correct and punish me. I have sinned and done wrong since the day I was born. But you want complete honesty, so teach me true wisdom. Wash me with hyssop until I am clean and whiter than snow. Let me be happy and joyful. You crushed my bones, now let them celebrate. Turn your eyes away from my sin and cover my guilt. Create pure thoughts in me and make me faithful again. Don't chase me away from you or take your Holy Spirit from me. Make me as happy as you did when you saved me. Make me want to obey. And in particular, it's the seventh verse. Wash me with hyssop until I am clean and whiter than snow. The color white, of course, is, well, they tell us that it's not really a color, is it? It's the absence of color. Uh, so it is not affected by any kind of colors. Um, I'm going to say more about that in just a second, but it's because there's an absence. It's kind of a sign of purity. certainly within our culture and society, certainly within the Bible as well, a sign of purity. So we want to be washed clean, wash everything, all the dirt and grime, out of our lives and make them clean. Well, a little bit earlier today, again, I'm talking to you, uh, recording this on Thursday night for Friday morning. So on Thursday afternoon, at one point, there was a little bit of a break, and I stepped outside to try to see things. I was still hoping at that point that the plows would come and I'd have a chance to get out. So I walked down to the street, and our street here, Overbrook, was passable. It wasn't great. They did come along later and make it better. Um, I walked all the way up to 537, and that was in pretty good shape. But for a few seconds there, a few minutes maybe, everything was quiet and peaceful and calm. And I'm sure you've done this yourself. You've stepped outside in this kind of weather, and it's just, it's so relaxing, and it's so clean again, and pure and peaceful. And of course, within a few seconds, the neighbors are out with their snow blowers, and the plows come bang, 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 bang down the street, and all of that is disrupted and interrupted. Um, but this idea of wanting to be made as clean as snow, it's almost like in a snowstorm like this, that God blankets us um, with this pure white snow, and covers over all the bad stuff, all the imperfections in the world, including in us. And for a few minutes or seconds, you know, you have this peaceful calm and this white purity, and then pretty soon we start getting involved with it, and we're gonna push it away and clean it up and everything else. And but that's what we're longing for, in a sense. We want to be made clean. We want to be made white. We would like the world, you know, uh, to be made white. If there could be a snowstorm that could blanket the world and just wipe out all of the evil and struggle and pain and sorrow, that would be wonderful. But maybe those few seconds in a snowstorm, give us an inkling, a glimpse, I don't know, of what it would be like if everything was clean and perfect and pure. And that's what we long for, because we recognize in the psalmist, whether it was David or not, we don't know. The tradition has that David wrote the Psalms. We don't know whether he wrote any of them, let alone all of them. But certainly Psalm 51, of expressing remorse and expressing repentance and a desire to be forgiven, certainly fits some of the facts of David's life, because he was not a perfect man. For all his greatness, he was a terrible father. Um, he had one of his soldiers killed, Uriah, so that he could claim Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, as his own. So he did some things that weren't too good. He killed Goliath, but the ledger was kind of packed on both sides, good and bad. Um, and so many have thought, whether it's actually true or not, that David is reflecting on his life and the desire to be forgiven, a recognition of the ways that he has fallen short and failed others, failed himself, most importantly failed God, and asking to be made clean. Um, and that's, here we are, in the beginning of Lent, and that's our Lenten journey, isn't it? If we really probably should be doing it each and every day, but certainly in Lent, we make more of a concerted effort to think about our lives and where we've fallen short, and our desire to be, again, made clean and white as snow. And that's our hope for Lent. It's not something we can accomplish by ourselves. It's something that's only accomplished through faith in Jesus Christ. And the other part of this is that um, the gospel lesson, the transfiguration lesson, appears before his disciples, and suddenly he becomes dazzling white. It's a sign of his glory, but also, in a sense, I guess, his purity as well. And we aspire to something that we cannot obtain on our own. Only Jesus can make us as clean and white as snow. And of course, we get these fleeting glimpses. You get a blizzard or a heavy snowstorm like we did today, and you see that calmness and that peace and that purity and that pure white, and you long for that in your life. Certainly, I do, and it doesn't last very long because human nature being what it is, we want to get back to things and do things, and our true nature um, comes back out. You know, with the snow plows and the snow blowers and everything else. We can't let that moment last too long, heaven forbid. But for a fleeting moment, we have that sense of purity and cleanness, and a sign of, again, what our Lenten journey and our Christian faith are all about, what we aspire to be made clean, to be made clean as white as snow through Jesus. Well, I hope you have had a better experience getting shoveling out or snow blowing out of the snow than I did. I hope to get out, uh, today, tomorrow for me, but today as you're listening to this, and hope to be able to resume our Lenten devotions for Saturday. In the meantime, I hope you're safe and warm. Certainly, prayers go out to all our brothers and sisters in the state of Texas, and other places that are really suffering right now. Um, I've certainly got electricity and heat, even though I couldn't get out of the house. I'm certainly grateful for that, and give thanks for that, and pray for those who are suffering and struggling right now, and hope that tomorrow brings a better day for them, and hope that tomorrow I can be with you back in my office with resuming our Lenten journey devotions. Until then, take care. Be well.